So the Acolyte audience score on Rotten Tomatoes seemingly just disappeared, basically, from the main page. Now, some people are saying it's back. Yeah, it is back.
It has been, yeah.
Some people are also saying it happened to everything. It didn't actually happen to everything. Yeah. That is not true. It did happen, majority, to Star Wars live action shows, though.
All of them, not just this one.
Yeah, so the Acolyte, and yeah, but there was like one other that it didn't happen to, I think, if I remember rightly. But it didn't happen to HBO's House of the Dragon. It didn't happen to basically anything else. Just Disney, Star Wars stuff, which is odd.
Nothing that could have had possible love bombing to it. No.
Yeah, it's an odd one. So we'll scroll down, just have a look. Basically, what happened was, if you search for the Acolyte on Rotten Tomatoes, people no longer could see the audience score. Instead, you'd only see the critics' tomato meter. The audience score was still available technically, but you'd have to go into the seasons. So quite a weird thing to change randomly. And obviously that, it did sit at 14%. Be interested to see what happens after tomorrow's episode. So it's still there. And then again, it happened to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, The Mandalorian, Ahsoka. Book of Boba Fett was not affected. That was seemingly the only one which wasn't. Don't know quite why. But it didn't happen to anything else. Just randomly that stuff. Bit of a weird one. I mean, I say it's weird. We obviously do know why as well. I mean, it's Rotten Tomatoes are not new to changing things for Disney specifically. Famously, they changed the entire website for Captain Marvel. I mean, that's some weight that Disney was pulling there. Quite literally, the entire website was changed for Captain Marvel. So there you go. I mean, I don't have much else to say on all of this. I did a pretty extensive video earlier, so I'm going to hand it over to you, Culture. You can rabbit on about this for a little bit now, bud.
Well, I mean, again, they've always played funny buggers with this stuff, silly buggers with this. Their scores have never been consistent. They've always gotten rid of certain things. They've, been very selective in what they allow through, what they delete. And it's not new, but they're bought and paid for by Hollywood. Doesn't matter. Whatever studio wants to influence them, they seem to be able to do so. And in my video, there you go. Yeah, in my video, I was talked exactly about what Tom just said. There was a marketing group that paid $50. That's right. $50 is $50, right, Tom?
Yep. So, especially when you ain't got to take one in the mouth.
There you go. Yeah, but in 2019, they deleted 50,000 audience reviews, right?
Well, yeah, and I had somebody reach out to me with a few ideas of what this could be. I have my own theory. Like they were saying, what they could have been doing is finagling with the percentages. Like a 1 doesn't count as like a 1 anymore. It's like a 1% or whatever. It's like really weird how they explained it to me. But my suggestion was they started trying to kill a bunch of the negative reviews, but as they got going, they realized score's not getting any better, guys.
Well, and here's the other problem.
Which I know that doesn't make sense either because they could just manipulate it however they want. But yeah.
If you're a reviewer on the critic side of things, you can actually manipulate what your score comes out to be, even if you've given it a flaming review.
Well, and as Nate said that they took the number down from the main page, but not the seasons.
No, you had to drill down into season 1.
Yeah. What I think that's what they're doing is they sent that down to season 1, and Disney made the argument that shouldn't count towards the whole show because the whole show's not done yet. And then that way we can have people go in and actually score the show as a whole now, and they'll probably love bomb the hell out of that with bots.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, well, let's do it.
So then they could turn around and say, "Oh, look, the Acolyte is actually getting like a 60% in the audience score or whatever."
No, it's not going to because it's going to get flamed.
Either way, we all know it's some kind of Fugazi bullshit they're pulling, right? Like, I mean, let's be real.
Well, Tom, when you look at the critic score, top critic score right now, It's at 6.2. And yet on the website, when you look at it, it says, for the top critics, it says it's like 72%. How are those two numbers close to each other? 6.2 is 62%.
They really do mess with that,
They
don't they?
fudge with this stuff, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's absolutely madness. I mean, look, you know, some people have said it did happen to other things. I wasn't aware of that. I just know it didn't happen to anything which would be a direct, well, which is, you know, well, yeah, would be a direct competitor in terms of streaming stuff. Not from what I could tell, anyway. Because, like I said, yeah, HBO, House of Dragon, and things like that were still up there, so it did seem a bit odd. But again, to sort of disregard Disney's former efforts to change things, and the fact that they quite literally changed the entire website for Captain Marvel, I mean, it's pretty naive to just sort of glance over this and say, well, they didn't do anything. Like, yeah, of course they, I mean, I think it's definitely worth a critical eye anyway, because they've been known to do stuff before. Apparently, The Bear on Hulu had some scores removed, apparently. But I will say The Bear season 3 is not being received as positively as the previous 2 seasons. So that could also make some sense, actually. And that is also...
they got to be out there protecting shit all the time. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
And that is also technically a Disney product as well. You know, if anyone can point to something that was affected which wasn't Disney, I'd be much more open to, you know, the discussion that this was a site thing rather than a Disney thing. But I don't know if there was anything that was done which wasn't a Disney thing.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. Do you know where the person who runs Rotten Tomato came from?
Yeah, Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, look, it's not good. None of this is good, but it's heavily comical. I mean, they came out and admitted that they changed everything for Captain Marvel before. So, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's funny. I just think all of this is heavily comical. Like, sort of, where does it end? Because they in the press, they're like, we don't care. We love a bit of criticism. So, yeah, sure you do. Whatever. No, you don't.
That was just another reason not to trust Rotten Tomatoes, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that it was exposed that they were paying people, you know, even if you just remove, let's just say, let's play devil's advocate, right?
Yeah.
For a second, anyone in the chat saying, well, it was for everything. Let's just play devil's advocate and let's explore that. Fundamentally, you can't trust Rotten Tomatoes anyway, because they've been caught paying people. Right? There's fundamentally systems in place where critics are paid $50 to review things positively. That's been exposed quite a lot now. Not just that, the fact that they will remove things on a whim. We know that they've deleted reviews in the past. We've seen that. So that's not good. You can't, you know, let's just play devil's advocate. Let's say that on this occasion, it still doesn't matter. It still doesn't make all the other things. It doesn't absolve them of their sins on any of the previous occasions. So shouldn't be trusted. But it's a fun metric to take a look at. I always think it's a fun metric. Because you've got to remember, right? This 14% is just the 14% that, you know, people manage to get it to. Can you imagine behind the scenes how they're furiously trying to raise it all the time? But in a semi-believable way. I still reckon that this could be lower than what they've actually put it as.
How?
No, as in, because behind the scenes, Rotten Tomatoes will try and adjust things more positively.
Right.
We know that they do that.
No, I do. But I mean, how could it be worse? I mean, it was briefly worse at 13%. No, I know. There have to be at least 3% of the population that are wanting this show.
Yeah, okay, but then that's 3%, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, they're doing all this artificial leveraging on the over 25,000 ratings that they have for this. And if they're doing all that, constantly trying to, manipulate these numbers, what does that tell you?
True.
So they're doing their level best to keep it up. 14% is all they can muster.
That's so funny. So funny. I love it. I think it's comedy gold. Anything else to say on this? And then we will, boogie on.
Nah.
No, all right. We'll boogie on then. And I'm changing words, guys. I always say shuffle on, so I'm trying to change all the things that I say now. Ah, dear, oh dear. Good times. Right. Well, anyway,